another edition of Checking In with Hein and Johnny, where the hosts bring in mystery topics that neither host knows anything about until the mics go hot and on the air. We are the show that keeps the host from talking about the weather and World War II 24 hours a day. Hey, Heine, man, what's on your mind? A delightful
What's happening,
sip.
Johnny? A little
Man, we had a stupid hurricane.
Are you?
Zapped all of our computers and
I thought you were out
all
of
of our-
Florida.
we got out of Florida, but that stupid thing rolled its little juicy rings up through Virginia, where I currently reside. We thought we got out of harm's way, but shut down all the phones and power and all that.
Au contraire, mon frere.
We
Did
do
you have
not
your
like
emergency
hurricanes.
generator when the lights
Did
go
it
down.
kick on? The back 40, the Jenny kick in. We have no Jenny. We are losers. We do not have a compound such as yourself. You have a sprawling 40-acre CEO acreage, which I do not have.
But sadly, if when the lights go down, I just have to hop on my Soylent Green bicycle and pedal away and try to make one light bulb work.
Charge up the one bulb, the porch light. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Right.
I clicked on one article about a Norwegian wind turbine, and now I get tons of wind turbine articles. So everything around my house is going to end up with just these massive bird-killing turbines in 5 years. So there'll be just dead pelicans and just flesh of chunks of hawks, of birds of prey will just be laying around. We'll have hawk fritters and pelican
Kung Pao hawk.
I didn't know if anything that was pelican related recipe wise. So you saved me with Kung Pao. You saved me with Kung Pao.
If you have any mystery meat, just Kung Pao it.
Just Kung Pao. Well,
You little those Chinese peppers in there, roast them up. And
Exactly. I hear that when you go, to the Orient, food is sold at places other than grocery stores. I mean, it's sold at all businesses. There's aquariums with food in it to buy. I love the idea.
It's called
I wish
freedom.
we had that in Virginia.
Here they have no USDA.
Freedom. Look it up, Johnny. It's what
Eat what you want. Yeah, here it's. You can't. I don't think you can sell the elk you shot at a restaurant.
No. Yeah, you can't bake a cupcake and sell it to your neighbor until the feds have been in and checked your oven and looked at how your hands get washed.
And then it better not be a gas oven.
Stupid gas, killing the kids.
Yeah, it better be the oven that you power by your bicycle that you're pedaling.
Your Soylent Green pies. Got the whole family out back.
Do you remember that movie?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
It was on.
Everybody dragging the old
classic.
people. It is
Really bad movie, but a classic nonetheless.
And scary. When I watched, I'm freaked out when I was little. Totally
happened.
Freaked out.
It was happening in I think 2012.
Oh yeah,
We're all going to be
started
fighting
way-
over
Fighting
a bottle of strawberry jam, and we call the women furniture.
That has some of the dialogue dated. Has not held up. One good thing about our pod, is that we have the freshest movie reviews. Soylent Green, Jaws, Patton, Tora. We really,
Tora, that's a good one.
it's a it's a great one. We're hip. We got the Riz. We got the drip on this pod, as the kids say, and it's because we're so fresh. We have every reference we have is World War II related. So
Well,
yay for
that's
us.
as the other day. Okay, Johnny. Here's a check-in question for you.
Yeah.
What is the biggest airport in the United States?
LaGuardia, Atlanta. I don't know. I have no. Having been to both, they are big, but I don't know.
You don't think you wouldn't say Dallas Fort Worth,
Well,
Chicago O'Hare?
I wouldn't, because it actually happened on a podcast earlier about 30 seconds ago. I did not say those. In court, I can testify. I did not say Chicago O'Hare or Fort Worth.
Well, I was with a millennial. Maybe, did we already cover this? Maybe we already did this on an earlier podcast.
No.
Well, you answer. I don't know where your answer came from, because I would say the Dallas Fort Worth airport was the biggest airport, because all of my information is based on the 1974 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records book.
That's the one you bought.
And
that's your
well, it's
reference.
the last one I looked at. It's the last
And
one that
so
I studied in depth. And so world's richest man is still John Paul Getty. The largest airport in the United States is Denver International.
Oh, nice. Denver's a lovely town.
That's what a 30-year-old will tell you, because they're right.
Yeah.
At least according to Google, if you can believe that.
Stupid Google, constantly.
So we've got the big Utes game today.
They're doing great, ranked and happy and thrilled to be in the right company. I do enjoy watching the little.
Kyle.
I love them and their fighting spirit. It makes me inspired for the little guy. And I know now you don't. Do you go to away games or just a once in a while home game?
Well, I am a season's ticket holder.
So you go to all the home games?
No.
No.
No, I forget to put them on my schedule, so I book stuff over them, and then I have to give away the
you're not in
tickets,
town.
which work.
And then you're in Albuquerque, so you can't
something.
go to the game. Well, that's the way
So-
season tickets are for everything, though.
Yeah, today,
But
except the ballet, we don't miss those.
No,
Hell and high water.
no. Well, those get put on the calendar. Man, the classical ballets, they cannot be missed. Well, you will have to review. What's the next coming up ballet, Heine man?
You guess. It's
Nutcracker.
What holiday is approaching?
Well, of course, Christmas. So I would say Swan Lake or the Nutcracker. No.
Halloween comes before Christmas. Red alert.
Sorry. I don't know any Halloween-related ballets. My ballet
there's
experience.
A bunch of them.
There's au contraire, Montreal. There are so many. You have experienced them all, Heine man?
I've experienced in 32 years of marriage, or whatever it's been. Oh, it's been like 37.
Yeah.
I have I have seen a lot of ballet. And next coming up, Ballet West will be performing, I do believe, in the Capitol Theater, and I will be there. Their performance of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde ballet, which I think I could do this one. I don't know. I don't know pirouette much, but probably could be Mr. Hyde out there. Maybe he has a demanding role. And I'll be finding out about that because sometimes this week, I will be attending a lecture on the upcoming Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde ballet, which really
That tittles
begs
the winky.
to how hard I am trying to stay married that I'm actually going to that.
Well,
I should be able to buy a new sports car in exchange for going to that.
you will be able to buy a part for a certain Austin Healy because you're going to a lecture about the ballet. Would you be surprised if I have been to 0 lectures about ballet and 0 ballets? The closest thing I have been to anything like that would be Circus So Gay, which I have been dragged to many times in many locations and have slept through all of them. Nothing wrong with the Canadians, but holy smokes, I've seen enough of weird people in makeup, like doing weird, strange movements with their head and back.
Believe it or not, I've been to Cirque du Soleil also.
Yes,
I have seen it. How many? I think I'm only about 3. But we saw them in San Diego before they were huge.
Oh,
They
you
just
saw
did a
them like
small place.
yeah.
It was a real circus kind of thing. They didn't have 15 crews doing it. There was no Cirque du Soleil tribute to the Beatles.
Have you seen that one?
No. I think I
Slept
made it
through
from
it.
the stair.
Slept through it. Walked out shaking I just did this. Oh, what have I done? Oh, yeah. No wonder it closed. Maybe I just have no appreciation for it. It's me. It's me. It's not you, Cirque du Soleil. It's me. I have no taste. I'm sorry.
It's amazing stuff, and occasionally, it's a blood sport. So,
You got to see the blood sport part? I might have stayed away for that. Man,
people falling from the ceiling.
they should have advertised that. I'd go back for my 40th version of that.
Yeah, it's haven't done that in a while.
We judging from all the comments we get constantly, people fired up about our pod. People want to know what happened to the Dead tribute. People want to know. Did you enjoy that? What was it like?
Very much so. I mean, it was our friend.
That's enough. No, that's enough, Henry. That's enough. You're on a pod, and that was good.
No.
Very much so. That's enough. No,
it's amazing. I should be able to plug the band. That's what I should do. But they're, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
They hatch a fantastic Dead cover band.
Nice.
It sounds, just like my albums, and they had everybody rocking. Our friends have a barn that they can pack like 125 people in. I don't think they have to call the fire marshal. But and did it all up in psychedelic stuff. Had this huge, massive buffet, and there they were, and people came, and there's some deal about bear people in bear suits that come and dance around, and they had them.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
and
the dancing bears is kind of
marijuana is legal in New Mexico, so there was that.
People were, who is cooking all of this cabbage? Yeah. It's a delightful aroma.
There wasn't that much of it, but it was very cool, really. And I don't know, they pay the band. The band comes at a minimal charge, really. You can get these
Yeah.
guys. They just love to play. They've figured it all out. They're looking for a venue, and here you go.
Man. Well, you own a podcast, so it's good you didn't get any photos. I appreciate you're
I
50% of you're 60% of a podcast, and you didn't bring any photos, so that's good.
I
Thanks,
think I
Heine.
was. Well, that's the problem when you just don't plan any of it and it's all just
Yeah.
coming at you.
It's just fun. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. You don't want to be the total loser. Everybody in every concert is just holding up their phone now so they can get likes and looks on their Insta. So it is, see, you weren't that person. You actually weren't the person
I
holding their phone out.
I was probably holding a grandchild up
Nice.
high above the fog layer,
Nice.
trying to protect innocent young lungs.
You were attempting to keep them from the contact high.
Save the children.
We, that's great. And did the grandkids go with you?
Yeah, it was a festival atmosphere, yes.
Nice.
And it's a
That's
chance to
awesome.
show them off to our friends.
Man,
They're
show
so,
your kids.
they're so
We had
damn good looking.
the progeny, is that how you say that word? I'm not good with vocabulary words. What is that word, Heine man?
Prodigy.
Prodigy. So
Or
the
is it
prodigy
Prodigy. You're right.
from the Latin progenitatina gammas. Nice. I am happy to have heard that report. That's lovely. I love it. So you had a great time. I had
Johnny, I am always having a great time. Anymore.
yeah. So tell us about this Sebring. I text you a question about Sebring, Florida. Have you been to this location before?
Johnny, what do you think? Yes,
I do think.
we did we ran the warm-up race for the 12 hours of Sebring in the year 2000
Nice.
in an Austin Healy. I've got to dredge up some photos of that. I have some fun ones of that my friend that I went with, his mom took pictures from up above in the pits. So, and it was the night after the big 12-hour race. So there are all the huge big tire tracks coming out of the pits that looks
That's
like
awesome.
I put them down, but I really didn't.
Yeah, looked like they were
And
staged.
we did that race. It was the one right before the famous 12 hours of Sebring, and so we got to stay and see that. But the disadvantage, it was an interesting event because every day you got one 20-minute session on the track.
Nice.
So, and then you had 24 hours to sit around and try to stay
Interested.
interested. And we stayed at the track because once you kind of get in there, especially on the 12-hour day, you're stuck. And so you're sleeping in your little tent. It's humid. Everything feels kind of wet. The lights are on 24 hours a day because everybody's getting ready for the 12-hour, and there's tons of people there, tons of cars there. So at 1 a.m, your neighbor decides to balance the carburetors on his Mini.
Oh, man.
And so
You're up.
you're up. but it's a good race, and they run several events there. I'm not sure if that one is that's about the time. So it looks like the one that you sent, March 7th through 9th or something,
Yeah.
is probably the one that's centered around the 12 hour,
Nice.
the 12 hours of Sebring. But what we've committed to, this show's all about me, Johnny. What,
I
you're
said
constantly asking the
60%.
little question. 60.
I said, the announcer, did you hear that deep-throated, sexy announcer said, "What's on your mind, Heine?" He said nothing about me.
It's funny that you can just push this play button and away it goes.
I know. It's like a show.
The next year we've already committed, and my buddy has bought a new car. He just ran out and bought a car to go to the. There is a race on at a place called Put in Bay, and it's in the middle of Lake Erie. You take a ferry out to the island, and they
Talk about stuck.
When you get on the island, you can just drive around in your race car. And then they have the race on an airfield. And next year is the 70th anniversary of the founding of the Elva Car Company, which we do own an Elva.
That's awesome.
And now my best buddy, Jake Jacobson and Joe Stiefel, have purchased an Elva Courier to go out and make sure that I lose and look bad.
That's nice of him.
That's what I told him. He said,
what,
"Are you putting what?"
Tell us when that is, because now we want to know. We want on the podsters want to know the event day of Lake Erie.
I think the hard date is September 16th, 17th, 18th.
Nice. Okay, so as you were
I'd telling
me, it's okay. We have many pods before then. We can correct our info. The one thing, as you were talking about the tuning up the carburetors at 1 o'clock, I instantly realized why you go to discussions about ballets. Because my guess is Chris was listening to someone tune up their carburetor at 1 a.m. at Sebring. Am I right?
No,
Wow.
Chris gave up on the long treks across the country and sleeping in crummy tents a long time ago.
She's wise.
So
she doesn't want to keep married. She could care less about you. She's like, oh, yeah, Zooks, I'm not going to his stupid ballets, his ballet.
Yeah, so she flew in. The ladies fly in, come to the race maybe for an hour or two, quickly realize what it's about, and say to the kids, "Hey, who wants to go to the beach?" And I say, "Don't you want to stay for the historical 12 hours of Sebring? There are still 11 hours left." And she goes, "Hey, who wants to go to the beach?" And poop, they're all gone.
They're wise in the ways of science.
Right. So there am I. We're standing on the corner watching the glow of the brake discs as they fly around and fly up the Ullman Strait. And away we go.
Nice. No, that she's figured it out. You want to stay married, so you're still going to ballet. She could not care less. She's like, no. I'm not putting that. I'm not putting 12 hours into Sebring. That's a thing of the past. Well,
Correct.
I delight in that information. It makes me very happy to know the Heine man. That's quite great. What other things are on the Heine's mind?
Boy, I think you've churned through it all. What have you been listening to anything interesting lately?
Did you say ear candy? Did someone do the transition special effect?
I did say ear candy. What have you been listening to, Johnny?
Namaste. Did you ever listen to anything in back in the day that was related to Robert Mapplethorpe and Patti Smith? Any of that kind of the pre-punk arts type of era? Do you remember any of that in our Ute years?
Patti Smith, didn't she date Keith Richards?
She, she was just like dated everybody. She was, the punk hairy woman with an attitude.
No, probably during that period, Johnny, I was still discovering George Formby and his mastery of the ukulele.
Ah, you were more in
But
the Tiny Tim, uh, that genre of ukulele, as they say in the islands.
George Formby was, singing inspiring songs for our boys over in France. Tiny Tim was probably being
Being Tiny
germinated.
Tim.
Let's use that word, germinated somewhere over there in the U. Is he was an American,
I think he's an American. Yeah.
but no Patti Smith. I no, yeah, that's
She was the complete punk, total big guitar attitude, three chords attitude, very very straightforward. She met this incredibly famous photographer, Robert Mapplethorpe. So I listened to her autobiography, and she was complete artsy fartsy person, homeless in New York City. I mean, literally find 25 cents and live on that for 2-3 days. The photo she influenced this complete psycho artist, Robert Mapplethorpe, and like got him started with a Polaroid camera. So he became very very famous, and so she's I need to have adjusted my thoughts of these rock stars and their autobiographies, because I you just assume, I guess, or I just incorrectly assumed that most of them would just be idiots, but they're not. They really are. Their autobiographies are deep. I mean, every one of them has, including Keith Richards, has been delving into the depths of emotions, and they're not usually, they're the topics that people don't talk about. So they're in the deep swamps of mental health and drug addiction and challenges. So hers was really fascinating if you're an artsy, fartsy type of person. If you like art creation, it was right up your alley. But no, it was very different from, we did reviewed Elton John's and Keith's and Bruce Springsteen's. Bruce Springsteen's was for sure the most poetic. That dude raps philosophically about every single topic on Earth. I mean, the dude is down to earth, fantastic. Sean Penn is the narrator of the next one that we'll talk about next pod, and he's doing the Bob Dylan one. So we'll talk about that next week. And Bob Dylan is a super interesting dude for me, anyway. He's just really interesting because certainly not what I perceive personally. His whole idea about himself is different from what the world perceives him as. So anyway, Patti Smith's really great book if you want to find out all about Robert Mapplethorpe. He later died of AIDS. He was an incredibly famous photographer, like a really famous photographer. And Patti Smith was associated with many famous folks that she was romantically inclined with. So if you want to find out about Sam Shepard and other people, is in the book. If you like that.
I'd really like to know more about, Belinda Carlisle.
Oh, I wonder if she's done one.
She did a TV show, and she said, after, because she's probably our age or a little bit
Yeah.
older,
Yeah.
And she says, well, in those days, I really kind of thought I was all that. And
Well,
now
I
she
think she
says,
was.
it's like, she was, definitely.
Oh
She
my
was all
gosh, yes.
that. It's like, come on. Grow into your shoes, girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah, I hate to admit, but there are 20 people that were all that, and that she's one of them, and Blondie, and yeah, there's 20 people from that
If
area that was all that.
if I could time travel back, yeah, it would be I would stalk Belinda Carlisle, and that maybe Susanna Hoffs, which who I actually have met.
You met the
She was
Bananarama?
not Bananarama. It was
Oh, walk
the
like an
Egyptians.
Egyptian.
I think the band was the Egyptians. No, it was the Bangles.
Bengal. Oh, that's right. I think. See, you're now you know why you're 60% of the pod, Henry. You
I'm
bring
not
in
even
actual info.
I'm not even gonna hum the tune, but I think if I
Walk
do the
like an
motions,
Egyptian.
is that copyrighted?
Nah, yeah, as long as we don't do like more than 4 bars, I think that's it. Yeah, they did the and huge. I mean, their video every minute for 6 months. I mean, it was so popular. Egyptians got a lot of play. Steve Martin got I mean, he wrote. I mean, he got a Grammy or something for that. So Egyptians have they've worked themselves into
A
popular
little bit.
culture.
For ruling the Mediterranean for thousands of years, I think they probably deserve more
They
play.
deserve. Yeah, they for the amount of time that they were bold and beautiful, they probably should get more than 2 songs.
Maybe we should write a big, start producing music for, like Ramses the Second.
Figuring that they'll have another successful 2,000 years and it'll blow up. It'll will be
Yeah,
the center.
when I think that really, Mark Antony and Cleopatra have just been overplayed.
Time to,
They're a little tired.
King Tutankhamun has had his day. It's time. The next 2,000 years, it's Ramses, baby.
Ramses the Second.
It's
Right.
Ramses the Second. Rock star status. I love it. Oh, eye candy. Eye candy. So if you haven't seen the George Clooney and Mr. Handsome Brad Pitt in Wolves, watch it. It's crazy fun. If you liked the Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, if you like those, you will adore Wolves. It's on Apple TV, and they're funny, wacky, have the troublesome hook up together, not good friends at the beginning, challenged, the that typical thing, and they do it great. It's exactly what you expect. They're funny, they're handsome, they are hilarious, and then they do criminal things, so it's entertaining. We all like criminal items, so Woofs is really great. I enjoyed it. It is not intellectually stimulating. This is not a documentary about anything. This is only for fun, but it was very fun. So anyway, do you remember anything of George and Brad's that you liked in the past, Tiny Man?
I do. If I recall, there is a George Clooney movie loosely based on the Odyssey.
Oh, and you liked it.
I did. Oh, brother,
That's
where art thou? But
that is the thumbs up.
ever since I saw that movie with Delmer and all those guys, I've just been locked in on Emily in Paris.
Oh, nice. Well, what's Emily? What is Emily's not in Paris this year though? I hear this season she is in Italy.
Rome. She's gone to
Rome. Thank
Rome.
you.
She's gone to Rome
Nice.
with many of the usual plot twists and not twists. And mostly I just watch it for her because I'm weird that way. And
You're a human.
and then how they make all those cities look beautiful and uncrowded. They always find
Sunday
this
morning at 3 a.m.
in the dead of winter, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's probably wait for the wind to stop blowing and then get down to your swimsuit.
I love
And
it.
we'll shoot this scene. And another high point of the series that you may not notice is these are the little details that really make them cherished gems for me. Is her love combatant, the yang of Emily's yin, is drives a Triumph Spitfire. That would be
I
to me.
wondered when an MG or a Triumph would pop into the pod.
So you may, the real star of the show is that, even though, it's like a 78 model, they probably had to completely gut the induction system to get rid of that Stromberg carburetor. It probably has a
Those
Weber on it or
Strombies,
something.
ridiculous. They never held up. Gotta rip them out. Get them
Well,
rid of
they
them.
had the vacuum diaphragm that really helped in the adjustment and the air loss, but the lack of variability in the needle swapping out was just kind of lost.
You can't work with them. You gotta swap them out.
You do.
It's ridiculous.
You do. So that's just, call that the pro tip of the day.
It is. Well, I want to let everybody on the pod know that Triumph or MG showed up a little late in the pod today. It showed up at 34 minutes and definitely was earlier every other pod. I love that. That's what makes us love the Heine Man.
Sometimes the cherry's on the top, and sometimes it's in the bottom.
I love cherry bottoms. I love bottoms in the cherry. Hey, since we didn't see any of your photos from your big event where you went and saw the Grateful Dead tribute band, let's show them right now. Ta-da! Thanks for listening to Checking In with Hein and Johnny. You can follow all things Hein and Johnny by subscribing to Checking In with Hein and Johnny anywhere you listen to podcasts. Checking In with Heine and Johnny is sponsored by Conveyors and Equipment. They supply, design, and service all types of conveyors, belting, and material handling equipment since 1972. With 3 locations to serve you, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, and El Paso, find them on the web at conveyequip.com. That's ConveyeEquuip.com.